Imagine a pitbull puppy struggling for life on the streets of Phoenix during the summer. The asphalt is so hot, it burns its paws. It's so thirsty it can't even stick its tongue out. Alone, isolated from everyone, waiting to die. But sometimes miracles come from the most ordinary places. The employees of the neighborhood laundromat noticed something unusual on their way to work that day. A furry heap lying motionless by the door. As they approached, they were met with a heartbreaking sight. They saw a tiny puppy, struggling to breathe, its eyes devoid of hope. Their hearts broke when they saw it. What did they do? They didn't just walk by. They brought him water, fed him, and took him into the shade. Those people didn't realize it, but in that moment, they were creating a miracle. Then they called the animal rescue team. That's when I got the call, and everything changed. When I looked at the photo on my phone, my heart froze. My eyes filled with tears. Those eyes, that little face. A voice inside me whispered, "Go get him." Until that moment, I hadn't thought about getting a dog. But Pinto was different. It was as if a warm bond had formed between our souls. My hands were shaking when the apartment doorbell rang. I opened the door and I couldn't believe it. He ran inside without hesitation. He acted as if he'd been living with me for years. He ran around happily as if he recognized me, grabbing one of my shoes and carrying it in his mouth. It was as if he was shouting, "I'm here, I'm here!" I will never forget that funny, adorable, crazy moment. But it wasn't all that easy. You know, when people hear pitbull, they get scared. They label these dogs as killers. When I told my dad about these events, there was silence on the phone. "Did you say pitbull?" he said. "Are you sure about that?" He had read the news in the papers, watched the programs on TV. People had prejudices against this breed, and my dad was one of them. Until he met Pinto. Do you know what happened during their first meeting? Pinto walked up to him, wagged his tail once, and licked his face. That was it. All of my father's fears vanished instantly. Now he doesn't ask me how I am. He always asks about Pinto. What is he doing? How is he? He's constantly curious about him. He constantly sends gifts to Pinto. Seeing this interaction between them makes me incredibly happy. Wherever I go, Pinto comes with me. When I go to bed at night, he immediately comes to my side. He leans on me with all his weight, his warm presence, his soft fur. He gives me moments of incredible peace. Every day, when the door opens, he comes running to greet me, always carrying something in his mouth, to say, "Welcome home." I think about it, and we almost never met. He would have died in that Phoenix heat. If the laundromat workers hadn't seen him, if he had just walked by, I would never have met him. If I hadn't looked at his photo, if I hadn't answered the phone, how many times would we have lost each other? If I could say anything to Pinto, it would be this: I'm lucky to have found you. I admire you for standing your ground on that terrible street. I'm grateful that you believed in me from day one. And thank you so much for showing me that love doesn't care about the past or any preconceptions. Sometimes the hardest beginnings lead to the most beautiful endings. Sometimes all it takes to save a life is to stop and look. Pinto reminds me of this every day. Do you have a moment like this? Do you think pitbull dogs are as dangerous as they're made out to be? Share your thoughts with me.